It's been a while since I chronicled my journey since I started taking CBD oil. So I thought it would be a good time to jump on somewhere and just talk about this for a little bit. Let me give you a little background before I start. I've had diabetes for 45 years. That began to have an impact on my feet about 12 years ago. And I started taking medication for it, and I hated what I became taking the medication, because you can't take enough to get relief. And so the doctor kept increasing the dose, he kept changing the prescription, he kept trying to find the thing that would reduce the amount of pain that I was experiencing in my feet. And it really came to a head about 3 years ago. I stopped taking the medication 5 years ago because I just couldn't stand it anymore. I could no longer, I couldn't stand what I was becoming. I was this walking zombie, and I don't like being a zombie. That's not my thing. And so I want to get up in the morning and I want to be supercharged. I want to be ready to go, and I want to do my thing, and because that's what I've done my whole life. And all of a sudden, this thing is starting to pull me down. And I have a couple of other neurological conditions that would get triggered when the problem would go bad in my feet. And that pain was starting to creep its way up, and it got to above my knees, and then got into my upper legs, got into my hips, and I was really, really having a difficult time just walking. And it really came to a head about 3 years ago. I hadn't taken any medication for 5 years. I hadn't taken any medication for 2 years. That was 5 years ago. I stopped taking medication completely then. And I took a bunch of kids and went to camp. This is what I do. I do this every year. And I have always done this. I've hauled kids around, done things with them my whole life. And I got to camp with these kids, and we're staying on a college campus, and we're doing community work in the area, and I can't walk across the campus. I've got to find a place to sit down so I can get the pressure off my legs and my feet, and get so I could move to the next location. And I had to skip an awful lot of things that were going on simply because I couldn't get from here to there. And I couldn't do that anymore. So I have been an advocate for the commercial use of hemp for a long, long time. And I started doing studies on this, and I told my wife, I said, we're going to have to move to a state where you can legally take medical marijuana so I can get some relief from the pain that I'm experiencing. I'm gonna have to explain to people how come a Baptist preacher is taking medical marijuana, but I'm less worried about that than I am about getting a victory over the pain. And I had reached a point where I had no other choice, and we've moved so many times. I didn't want to have to do that to her again. We wanted to stay in Alabama. Alabama is our home, and that's where I wanted to be. So I'm kind of stuck in this situation. And then we started hearing about CBD oil, and my nephew, who did me the best favor ever, sent me a note and said, I really think that you need to talk to my friend. So I talked to his friend, who has become the COO of a major company, major provider of all things CBD in the country. And I fell in love with not just the product, and I'm not going to talk about the product, I'm going to talk about the oil. I'm going to talk about what it means to take just this. This is all that it took in order for me to get my life back, and I'm going to show you. That's it. That gave me my life back. Just like that. Let it sit in my mouth. It doesn't impact anything that I'm doing. The great thing about the CBD oil is, unlike all of the other medications, the only thing I feel after I have completed that little process right there is better. I'm not sluggish in the head. I used to take that stuff, and man, I'd be worried about driving. All the warning labels said, whatever you do, don't drive while you're taking this. And so I would try to take it to get to my location before it took effect. Can't live like that. This is easy. This gives me almost immediate relief. This gives me almost immediate relief. I'm all broke out in the shingles down my back, down my side today, which is miserable. It's one of the other neurological conditions that I have. I break out in the shingles about once or twice a month. This doesn't stop the shingles, it stops the pain. All right? There's something broken in my system that causes those things to happen. The diabetes, 45 years, causes you to have neuropathy. The system's broke. this helps restore homeostasis to the system. And so a simple little process like that, and I'm closer to normal than I've been in more than 25 years. I have a victory over those painful experiences. I used to wake up in the morning and wonder, I'd wake up in the morning and go, oh, my pain level must be about a 7 today. I haven't even gotten out of bed. And the first thing that goes through my head is, what's your pain level? And if you know anything about pain levels, I'll tell you that you need to take pain medication at 6. Between 5 and 6, you need to look for pain medication. I'd wake up at a 7. And you have this excruciating look of pain on your face. And you go, man, I can't hardly walk into the bathroom. I can't hardly walk across the room. That's not fun. And I lived like that for several years. I don't live like that anymore. Simple eyedropper full of stuff under my tongue. It's amazing what that does, and why we've hidden that from the world for so long, I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm not going to flunk a drug test. I don't have to worry about ever being picked up for being out of my head. I have very regular, that dose is regular, it's regulated, it's properly tested, it's cleanly manufactured so that I don't have to worry about it. And I get exactly the benefit that I need without any side effect whatsoever. There's no reason why people who are struggling with any kind of a neurological condition whatsoever, if you have something broke in your system, I promise you that trying CBD oil can be beneficial to you. Thank you for listening to me. I hope this will be helpful to you.